Hello YouTube and welcome to another set of chapters in my Girls Last Tour manga reaction, I guess I'm calling this. And yeah, I don't really know what chapters I'm doing today, but I'm going to do something. So as always, bit of housekeeping. Video is very, very late because the week was pretty terrible and I was kind of sick yesterday, so I couldn't record. The second thing being there's a dog in the house somewhere and I've got my door open, so if I see a little dog in the background, don't be alarmed. It's not just like a stray that made its way into the house. It's meant to be there. See, I'm dog sitting at the moment. So yeah, that would explain that if that ever comes up, which it hasn't in the past. So yeah, it's whatever. Anyway, I've got the YouTube comments here somewhere, where I've got 3 comments before jumping into the chapters here today. First comment here, simply from Ice CP. Keep up the good work. I will try to. However good and late it is another question entirely, but I digress. Next one here from Egg on Head. I'm pretty sure the big painting is a direct reference to Picasso's Guernica, which is depicting the Spanish Civil War. Yeah, so I just had a look at that there. I can definitely see the similarity, and knowing this last week would have let me go into it in a little bit more detail and potentially do a little bit more research there. But yeah, I guess it just continues our conversation around abstract art, which was what we were getting into before looking at that big painting, right? It's specifically depicting a war as well, as interesting considering the setting of Girls Last Tour as well. But yeah, mostly just art that isn't photorealistic, that is potentially conveying meaning more than anything else. It's a little bit haphazard and you know, like, you can't really read what's going on. It's a bit chaotic, much like war, probably, right? We went into this on Discord a little bit as well, the reading of the fish can. The explanation goes more or less like this. The can reads sakana, which means fish, but they can't read our alphabet, only the squarish hiragana, where each symbol is a syllable, so they think that every letter in sakana is a syllable. Hence they don't think it's 3 syllables, but instead 6, which is why Yu just adds in whatever else in the gaps she can think of, right? It's more than 3 syllables there. So that was a bit interesting as well, and this was the one I felt the most stupid on, right? I didn't realize that it wasn't cigarettes. I don't know what I thought the hallucinations were last week, but yeah, now that people said it, yeah, they're definitely something harder than cigarettes that they're taking to see these kind of things, right? It would also make sense that, you know, they're growing plants and there's a bunch of dead plants in this little kind of commune that they had that's kind of built on top of that skyscraper, like all these people gathering together in the post-apocalypse because this person has weed or potentially some variant that's a little bit more hallucinogenic, so yeah, I mean, I missed that. It shows what a big fucking drugless baby I am. It didn't even cross my mind, really. Yeah, as I said last week, the houses were built on top of the building slanted that way, which I thought was a pretty cool touch. Finally, I doubt this qualifies as a spoiler, but disclaimer anyway. Did you notice that in the manga, there's no dream flashback about them parting from Grandpa's place? Well, it seems they didn't made that up for the anime, and we were about to get the full backstory. Now that you mention it, I didn't really notice this, because, again, I'd already seen the anime, so I just kind of forgot about it. But yeah, this is where we finally get that stuff. So I'd imagine, again, like the anime must have been released at a weird time where this content was out and available, but the entire story wasn't done yet, because otherwise they would have just adapted the entire story, you would have thought, right? Anyway, I digress. It's a bit of a weird one. And yeah, just about the video in general, the material justice, I did good, apparently. That's good. I felt like it came out pretty okay for what I thought when recording it, which is it may be a little bit weird. And I guess the idea to have some water with me is probably a good one. I don't have any with me now, but I could grab some. Either way, I'm pretty sure if I keep it to these smaller chunks of manga, then I should be okay regardless. And last comment here today, I censor alpha. The format works well, and you read slowly enough to give a good idea of where you are, that it's easy to follow without the picture-in-picture version. In case you didn't get it, I'm pretty sure the cigarettes are supposed to be weed or some other hallucinogenic. Yes, I did get that in time. Also, the ending of the art chapter, the Altamira cave paintings seem to have been the first set of cave paintings that were found, but especially now, I don't think they're the earliest example of art, but it still means that some of the earliest art next to the last piece of art, like you said. Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what that piece is trying to get across, is the first humans versus the last. And then kind of, we go into that fashion segment next, and it's very similar, right? We're invoking fashion styles from early humans, right? It looks like they're wearing togas and stuff, or they're just a bit of cloth tied around yourself, you know? If you could even make cloth. I don't know what fucking cavemen did. I'm no anthropologist, as I said. But yeah, that's definitely the point of that particular segment. And I'm happy that I read slowly enough that it's easy to get across what I'm doing. I'm happy that I'm reading aloud as well. So again, it's followable for people that don't want to use BitChute because again, it's pretty bad. So yeah, I don't really see any other reason to stand on ceremony that much. I think I'm just going to jump right in. I guess quick recap. We're kind of like just about to jump into some recap stuff, if that makes any sense. I know that sounded weird, but we're going to jump into some flashbacks. Like, we've clearly got a setup there, and then the last 3 chapters of this volume seem to be about that. So we're going to do that, and then maybe a few of the next one, leaving some room to follow up next week and give it a proper conclusion. So yeah, similar setup to last time, of course. It seems like, again, we're doing 38, 39, 40 kind of as one block. It's going to be this flashbacky stuff. This shot in particular being very like indicative of the anime. I remember this shot in particular, right? And yeah, it seems like my setup's all correct. Again, there'll be a picture-in-picture version in the description below. All that kind of stuff. Shill stuff. If you like the video, like it, subscribe to the channel, comment below anything you thought about anything I say today, and the Discord and Twitter and everything else I normally say. Sorry, it's a little bit haphazard here today. I'm just trying to get something out. So yeah, we're just going to jump in here. Girls Last Tour, looking at this first page, looks like it's a younger version of Chi and Yu and all these blokes, right? When there was people around. Okay, so initially maybe we're not jumping straight into the flashback. I was under the impression that potentially we were going to do that, but no, it seems like we're back where we were with the general goal of making our way towards the tower that goes to the highest stratum, that being this elevator thing or whatever we're talking about, right? Is this it? The place that the strange creature mentioned? The tower that goes to the highest stratum? I think it is, but where's the entrance? You can see a, large, darkish figure here. Shadow? It's something that's obviously indicative of, like, this is important, right? If you needed another shot to tell you scale, here it is. I can't tell, it's too big, where one would get into such a thing. Looks like it would take a while just to circle around it. Yeah, like, again, dwarfs these buildings in comparison. You go to the wide to show scale. That's how film production works. That's how anything works, really. Either way, just looking at the backgrounds here, seems like there's a bit of junk around, like a bit of broken glass, that kind of thing. So, I don't know, maybe a sketchier area of town, however that works in the post-apocalypse. In any case, we need to get there before our food runs out. Hey, come to think of it, why are we heading up again? Well, we're heading for the highest stratum because that mysterious creature told us to, but before that, I know, because that fish came down from above. But we were going up before we even found that fish, remember? Then what was the reason again? Did you really forget? And yeah, I think this is indicating remember the stuff from the last-ish episode of the anime where we show a little bit more flashback stuff? Like, you guys should try to go up and find better stuff or go out and explore, and like, we're giving you the opportunity to go and experience the rest of the world while we, the old people, stay behind. Potentially you'll have a better life out there than what you have now. It's like, well, why are we climbing up? Part of the show's been about we're just climbing up for reasons. Like, there isn't any reason as well, because that's the whole absurdism thing as well. There is no meaning in what we're doing. We're just doing it because we're doing it, right? Of course, you staying true to her character. I don't remember anything to begin with, so don't forget anything either. Yeah, you should remember things. Yeah, good smile on Yu's face there. It's actually impressive that you can forget that much. Wait, huh? Did we eat today? You're doing that on purpose. Yes, we ate. Seems like we're kind of fucking around a little bit before this power line or something shines or something's broken here. It seems like the next, like, based on this shot into this shot, or this panel into this panel, I should say, it seems like something is happening that's going to change the status quo of the scene up to now. Seems like a big jungle of electrical wires, potentially? Something like that. That's what I'm looking at right now, and we're just kind of totototing our way through it. That looks suspect, right? That looks sus. He's being the sussy imposter, she says. That's an incredible light. It's like the sun. It's open too. Maybe we can get in from there. Nope, don't think so. Is the nope, don't think so happening as this falls, or as this looks dangerous because there's a ton of electricity and blah, 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 blah? Potentially. But yeah, it seems like some kind of lighting structure or something. Maybe like a power system for whatever elevator or whatever's inside that building. I do not know. Alright, let's blow it up. I don't think that's a great idea, I'm gonna be honest. Huh? Why? Because if that part breaks like this, we can get inside. And we see it kind of like, okay, so if we break the structure itself, it'll pull down the part that'll make an opening for us to get into the tower. Again, as I've been saying, like, it's very obvious what they're trying to do. I think the mangaka does a great job of that kind of stuff, like making it obvious what's going to happen, right? Or what they're trying to do, like, physically, right? You really think it'll go that well? I mean, we do have explosives left. Well, why not? Let's try it. Well, that's unexpected. I didn't expect Chi to go along with Yu's antics here and try to blow up the thing to make a hole in the thing so it can climb up, right? We used about half of it in that fish's tank, so we have about half left. I remember when they found explosives too, and I also obviously remember when they used it at the fish tank, right? Very, very good scene in the anime. But I'm not sure we should use all of what we have left. Yeah, let's use it all. Let's blow it to the sky. You being true to nature here, a little bit more reckless. She's being like me in video games. I never want to like use anything, right? So say there's like Dark Souls, there'll be like grease or something, or resin or something to that effect you can put on your weapon, right? I never want to use any of that stuff because I'm thinking, well, what if I need it later? You won't need it later. You will just end the game with 100 of them. I'll tell you that right now. Either way, it seems like we're keeping one part of the explosives regardless. You know, we destroy a lot of things as we move forward, don't we? A lot of those things you've destroyed all on your own, though. And things are broken all over to begin with. You know, I bet somebody's making things go kaboom inside our heads, and that's why people forget things. What? You're the only one whose head goes kaboom, you. Also, who's somebody? Is there a little person inside you making your brain go boom? Maybe. I don't know. You could squint and make that philosophical, I think. Maybe we'll go off on this tangent a little bit more. Somebody, like another entity inside your head making you do things, right? I guess I should talk about the first part of the page as well. We destroy a lot of things as we move forward. Is it humans' inherent nature to destroy, to use resource, right? I don't know, maybe, but again, these guys are the only two left, so that has kind of run its course, right? In any case, we have to move forward, even if it means destroying things. Okay, that's definitely an important line, right? Interesting. We have to move forward. We can't stay still. We can't think about what is being destroyed because of our presence. We must just continue. Because what else do we have? Again, you can apply that both physically and emotionally, you would think, right? You got to destroy things, maybe past ties and emotions if you want to move forward. Alright, it's ready. We can't use the trigger device from this distance, so I'll leave this to you. It got left to me. Yeah, so she's going to shoot the thing, right? I think that's the indication with the gun. Like, we're going to shoot the explosives and it's going to make a thing happen. Ka-chunk, and then we aim down the sights. I like this in particular. You can kind of see the scope look at her eye, like it kind of replaces her eye in a way. Got to aim for the igniter. Got it? Okay. And then we shoot it, and then I don't really see what happens. We shoot it, and it bish crack. So maybe we're successful. It seems like a loud noise anyway. Oh, and then we got the wider page again. So of course I'll pop that in post. Got it. And again, wide shot showing scale. That's the whole point here, right? I like explosions. Don't they make you feel alive? Sure. I guess I can understand where you're coming from a little bit. So yeah, obviously we're using the 2-page spread here for scale, as I said before. It shows how big the explosion is and where they're talking from in the other speech bubble there. Explosions make you feel alive, though. I guess they do. In the way that, like, a little bit of danger makes you feel type of way, right? Gives you adrenaline. Maybe you likes that. I'm guessing that's probably the case. So that's it. It didn't bend down at all. So yeah, their plan didn't work at all. Kind of exploded the cables that would have essentially tried to pull the thing. So yeah, that little diagram of what they were trying to do before didn't really come to fruition. Well, obviously not is how this feels, right? Well, I thought it would work. I don't know. Hey, this was your idea. Oh, sorry. And yeah, classic girl's last tour. Like, grab her face and like move it around like it's a big old blob. But yeah, with this last panel here, seems like something may be occurring. Oh, since the light's gone, it's night. And then we have to look for our lantern. Interesting. So we had to explode the light as well. So we can add that to our little metaphor as well. So we had to explode the light around us, leaving only darkness to get to where we're going. Potentially this was the wrong move. Potentially we've made it harder on ourselves by trying to maybe speed up the process. Maybe the process of discovery is a little bit more organic than that. However, Chi-chan, look, there. There's light coming from the tower. So, potentially in illuminating or getting rid of the big light, right? Revealing only darkness, it makes the other light stand out even more and gives us even more of a chance. So maybe it's the opposite. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too far into it, but that's what I see at the moment. Anyway, there seems like there's light from within the tower. It seems like Chi walks up with authority to the tower itself. There's some kind of panel, right? I thought these were little windows. No, they're like lights, like an LED, right? So walks up, puts her hand on thing, and it seemingly opens a door. And then what am I looking at? Welcome to Core Tower 6, or number 6. And what is this? Can we talk about this? Are we going to get a better look at you? Not yet. Okay, cool. Let's try and talk about this. It seems like a hologram? Doesn't seem like a real person. I'm going to give you that. Seems like some kind of like AI, right? But a little bit more advanced than the robots we've seen previous, right? Wasn't that the whole thing with the encroaching technology stuff that was kind of in the flashback before in the montage, as well as like generally in the theme of the show. We're kind of progressing up eras as we go up strata, so it only makes sense that there's some kind of weird AI construct that controls this tower, right? That would make sense to me. And now we're moving into the next chapter called Oblivion. So, seemingly I am just completely wrong. I thought we were moving into a 3-chapter structure that showed some more flashbacks about stuff. That's not correct. That's not what happened at all. So yeah, we're not doing any of the flashback stuff. I feel like we've got enough out of that already. Just kind of that first page was the indicator. The kind of connecting the theme of why we're doing this, why we're climbing up, that was already expressed through previous material. Potentially. Either way, this chapter is called Oblivion. Probably not the Elder Scrolls game. I'm thinking like the concept of like nothingness, right? Which definitely fits with the themes of the show. Very interesting first shot here, triangular, showing only the AI, just zooming down through, almost like a scope. If you were storyboarding this would be the first one. You would move in even closer here, and then you would zoom into this section here. I suspect the entrance stopped opening because the light outside was sapping the electrical power. Well, that's interesting as well. So potentially the people around that zone, maybe in the post-apocalypse, saw an opportunity there and started sapping the power of the tower itself just to produce some light in the area, an area that would otherwise be dark. So it's kind of livable, right? But in doing so, they shut off this AI for so long as well, probably. Again, just operating on the premise that this is an AI. Yeah, definitely. Unless it's like a ghost. Unless ghosts are real again. It is important that day and night exist continuously or discontinuously. Huh? It's important that day and night exist discontinuously. The sense that things discontinue systematically keeps people from madness. The sense that things discontinue systematically keeps people from madness. Okay, maybe I'm reading this wrong. I think I'm reading a double negative into this. So I think what they're trying to say is it's important that day and night both exist, right? And they continue to progress as time goes on, right? There's not just one big light shining constantly. I think the sense in general that things will end at some point and another thing will be born anew keeps people from madness, right? So the idea that the day will end and the night will come, but the night will end and the day will come, can be applied to myriad situations, right? Or myriad, I should say. Think about like an animal dying or something, right? And then, I don't know, that energy gets displaced elsewhere, right? I think that's what we're trying to get across, that energy is always conserved somehow, right? Like it continues to just like exist. So I think that's what we're trying to get. Like this concept is important to humanity as it continues, or maybe I'm just trying to think too hard on this one part, because it seems like Chi doesn't even like say an answer to it, saying we're searching for a lift that can reach the highest stratum. It's inside this tower, of course. I'll show you to it. So again, a little bit more direct. Probably the dots here is is you struggling with this concept, maybe in a similar way to me. What's that thingy over your head? Great point. It's also got a triangle, so if we go back a couple pages, triangle, very important, very cool. It's my status. It's a graph that displays my condition. What in the world are you? You don't look like a machine or a living thing. Yeah, you're like see-through. Look, I'm transparent because I'm a hologram. There you go. I was saying like AI, but yeah, again, what I meant was like hologram, right? Like some Star Wars shit, right? But not like a Force ghost, like a robot. Again, there's probably better examples out there. And then, yeah, kind of fucking around the the hologram sticking its head out through the vehicle. Oh, another wide shot. So again, I'll put this in post. I'm an artificial intelligence that oversees this core tower. I miss some near vibes here, no? Like a little bit. Automata in particular, right? Overseas, I do many things, but essentially I act as an intermediary between the worker, machines, and the humans. Okay, so you communicate with both the machines and the humans. Okay. I negotiate the strengths of each party to guide them in a stable direction. This is a rather difficult task. Why is it that your body is stretched so long? That is because I am happy. Okay, haven't seen humans in a while, potentially like got a little bit more purpose again. Electricity's been off for a long time, so probably hasn't been working. All sorts of stuff there. Again, these shots in particular, big old wide showing scale. Probably the scale this time of the length of the dude. The hologram, you know what I mean. Chi seems pensive about this, maybe a little bit scared at the length of this hologram. It's been a very long time since I've met any people you see. Admittedly, it was I who closed the door for various reasons, but it has been a long time since communication with my sisters in the other 5 towers ceased as well. So you haven't had anybody to talk to in ages. We're talking to almost like a rogue AI here. Well, I'm implying to be rogue. I think there's some nefarious stuff here if this first panel here is to be believed. I'd imagine this would be framed creepier if I had like a soundtrack and like shots and voice acting, right? But yeah, contrast, right? A little bit of fear from Chi, Yu's trying to put her hands through the hologram, right? Again, fits. Aren't you bored being alone all the time? Yes, it is boring. That is why I am so very glad now I can finally, again, bit more worried, and then like nothing from there. Again, Chi's like super fucking worried here, I think. Like we don't finish that sentence. Now I can finally. What do we mean by that? What do we mean by that, do you reckon? Turn right there. We have almost reached the lift. Are you going to let people go again, do you think? Now that you've got some more people around you, you're going to let that slide? I'm not too sure. So again, we see the hologram like going through the ground and poking its head up down here, which leads into the next page where it's kind of swimming alongside the vehicle, which Yu seems to think is pretty cool. Maybe some fish stuff here almost. You can turn into any shape. Must be great. Seems fun. Freedom is hardly so great a thing. You want some structure, maybe, a little bit more rigidness. Just being completely alone to do whatever you want whenever you want, and being kind of directionless in that way, potentially doesn't feel as good as you think. When you know you have the freedom to go anywhere, you realize that there is no place you truly wish to go. And again, this is probably resonating for the 2 girls. You said you were bored. How do you spend all your time alone? Asks Chi. Again, I'm thinking, like, with this ... all the faces, pretty worried about this. I write poetry sometimes. Poetry? Like what kind? I've written all my recent poems in binary, so it would be difficult for humans to comprehend. Sometimes I let the machines read them. Binary. Okay, let's break this down. So they're poems written in binary that machines can only understand, but machines, do they have that same level of consciousness? We've gone into this a little bit with the robot stuff in the past. Are they truly living? Is it a living thing? If I could communicate with it back and forth, but does it have like a soul? Think about it from that perspective. Are we putting that... Is art inherently something that only humans can accomplish? Can machines use art? AI art? Oh my god. Think about it all. And yeah, you doesn't know what binary is, and that's pretty funny. I don't know, I'd like to read one of the machine's poems, even if I have to put it into a binary translator. That'd be funny. Either way, this is it. It seems like we're coming towards some kind of elevator door that's going to take us to the next strata. I'm imagining it's all going to work perfectly fine, and we're going to be okay, and there's going to be no kind of climactic part to this scene. Oh, the elevator seems very huge. This whole thing moves. In exchange, I have one favor to ask you. I would like you to operate this terminal. Okay. Should we talk about, again, more character design for the hologram? Like, it almost mimicking a human, but not really looking like one. It's got the weird thing on top of its head. It's got a really long body. Can't see its legs. There's definitely something creepy about it in the way that it stretches what we consider normal up to this point. I'm definitely getting some bad vibes, if you haven't got that already. This lift will take you just short of the highest stratum. It will display a map of the area beyond for you too, in case you mean to go higher. Thanks. Well, thanks. Like a little bit pensive again. Please enter this number into the terminal. 162645539. Oh shit, I see what's happening. I just read ahead. Okay. Then what? Please look into this camera. Either of you is fine. What will happen after we do this? I'll disappear. Is this robot potentially seeking death? It has the freedom to do anything, right? But in that way, it's kind of a purgatory. There is no end. There is no finish. That's pretty deep. That's very deep. Okay, shit. So, like, again, this being is going to cease to exist and needs a human command to do so. Okay, and this is like the kill code, maybe. She's the one to yell out, "You stop!" Ah, thank you very much for the authorization confirmed. What do you mean you'll disappear? My meaning is literal termination. In life form terms, death. So, yeah, I just got you to kill me. Oh shit. Death. Why? I'm ready for it all to end. I'm seeing this from another lens as well, the fictional lens, right? The textual lens. I'm ready for this experiment to end. I'm ready for Girl's Last Tour to end. I'm ready for there to be an ending to this story that almost resists such concepts. Of course, again, this is bringing in a ton of baggage from the robot stuff. Like, again, all of the stuff I said on in the kind of robot episode 9, being applied to this again. Definitely. What makes something human? What is the limit between, like, what makes me, like, better than a robot that can do all the things that I can do, right? Is there a difference there? Only again, you're applying it to a hologram this time. If this hologram is essentially had eternal life, it's been operating for ages, right? Since the world got fucked, and probably before that, right? It's been out here too long with one task, really, that being continue, and that it wants to discontinue. It wants to be turned off. Over several decades, I wrote my own self-destruct code. However, human hands are required for the final authorization. Okay, good bit of context there, but it was pretty much implied already. Please do not be alarmed. I have set the lift to activate after my disappearance. No, that's not why we were just talking together a minute ago, but by our own hands you'll... Oh, and then it kind of like droops to the floor, swoops down, right? Do you know what an eternity without oblivion is like? Okay, bring in the chapter title there. An eternity without oblivion, without something to end it all, right? And again, we've talked about this concept in the end of the TV anime stuff as well. The world is ending, and that's okay, right? There doesn't need to be eternal life. Life doesn't need to continue. It doesn't need to go on all the time, right? Sometimes it can just end. And again, there's some microcosm of that concept that's happening to the entire world is happening right here with this hologram. What's Oblivion? Well, it's a game in the Elder Scrolls series. It's not remembering, that thing you're so good at. Memories? Fair. Those things just get in the way of living. I don't think she means what you mean. She has no gist of it. Yeah, Yu's a little bit behind in this level of conversation, I think. An infinite accumulation of memories and an infinite accumulation of loss. All thoughts fall beyond the incomprehensible. An everlasting insomnia. I'm perpetually awake. There's no sleep. Okay, now we're bringing this back to the light darkness stuff, the stuff early in the chapter that the AI had to say, right? Like... It's important that humans know that there's night and day, so that they know that there is a finish to a day and that there's a finish to a night. So things may happen continuously there, but sometimes it'll be the last sunset. Sometimes it'll be the last sunrise. Interesting. I'm really liking this chapter, if you haven't noticed. I will likely be forced to continue to live until the city's backup power depletes, so please let me end. I don't understand. Even so, it looks like it's already time. Thank you for listening to my request. Well, we kind of got tricked into doing it, but I digress. When we run into people, they request things from us an awful lot, says you. Okay, that's a bit weird. Travelers and gods are alike in that they both exist in a space unfettered by the interests of society. It makes you want to request things of them. It makes you want to pray. Okay, that's more meta stuff for the entire story. It's a very philosophical AI, for sure, which is almost a trope in of itself. I'm also noticing the big thing on top of its head that indicates its health. It's becoming like larger and like darker, and like it's probably getting worse and worse, right? This is probably it dying. Ooh, another big old wide, so again, put it in post. I was a failed god. Goodbye. Okay, pretty short on the old text department, but not without its impact, of course. I was a failed god, an AI. I could do things that were unattainable to humans, right? Things that they couldn't do themselves. I was meant to potentially even solve everything. I even had, like, my pantheon of gods around me in these different towers, right? However, this god itself, or this failed god, still wants an ending. It doesn't want life eternal, even as a god, even as something all powerful, right? And of course, Girls Last Tour is very, very good at this. Just amazing looking stuff. All the symbols, all the, like, almost all these symbols, like, encompassing human experience, and even some religious structures in there, right? It almost looks like Aztec, what I'm looking at right now. It almost looks like the angel in the temple, right? Yeah, very, very much so. That kind of depiction of a god. I was a failed god, and I still want an ending here. Yeah, reflect this with the shots earlier about, like, the god, right, from that chapter, from, like, episode 4 or whatever it was. Very, very cool. I like this a lot. Another really subtle part, it almost looks like Yu is reaching for Chi there, almost trying to, like, hold hands. Almost like this is scary. Like, almost like concepts are being reflected onto us right now that we don't want to see. So they're both kind of dumbfounded. We see, like, the mechanism itself explodes as well, right? We're almost exploding all the kind of technology in the tower. We get a Gagan ka-clunk, and then it starts to move. As it starts to move, Chi loses her footing, probably hasn't been focusing that much on standing, a little bit bewildered at what she's seen, right? See her start to stumble in this second to last panel here. Interesting. Okay, so all of these chapters are back to back to back, so there's nothing in between, like, that and that. We're jumping into 40, hometown, right? So okay, this seems like small Chi. This seems like we're finally starting to do some of the flashback stuff that was promised. Again, like, these 3 chapters have that one page. Like, again, it indicates that these chapters should be consumed together. It indicates that they're, like, trying to hone in on one kind of purpose here, which I could not tell you what it is, but sure. So what did we get from the last one? That there needs to be an ending to things, that eternal life is no good, that things sometimes need to finish, and that can be applied to the world, to the show, to the characters, to Chi and Yu, contrasting beginnings and endings, the beginning of the tour, the ending of the tour, which is upcoming in the next volume, the stuff there, right? So contrasting beginnings and endings, again, we've talked about contrasting the beginning of human art and the ending of human art as well. Just, again, there's a lot to talk about here. There's a lot to talk about. I'm looking forward to people. Please comment. I'd love to see people's takes on this. I really would. Okay, so let's talk about this. Young Chi in tunnel, ka-clong, climbs up ladder, pokes her head out, and cool. It's a big old town of fucking pipes, right? I think this is indicative of their, like, hometown, which, again, the chapter's called Hometown. From what I saw in our little flashback thing in the TV anime, then this tracks. I saw a lot of billowing smoke out of things. Cool, we get an indicator that it's snowy. Very cool. Well, of course it's snowy. Most of the show has been snowy, but, like, slips out of here, falls in, and makes, like, a snow angel. Think about it, out of the snow. Of course, it's very cute seeing our 2 characters in their little younger forms. Seems like Yu hasn't changed a bit, throwing a big old snowball at Chi. Chi probably hiding out from a snowball fight in those pipes. That's probably what the first part's about. Again, snowball hits face, already got snowball in hand, looks back with discontent. Squeezing together another snowball and throwing it. Again, very clear to see what's going on. We see Yu hit her with the agency dodge, and blah, kind of gets hit in the face in in kind of repercussion. Anyway, I'm saying words here. Why Yu? Hitting isn't fair, Chi-chan. So yeah, she goes for the fists after being hit in the head with the thing. Yu, do you have the bag? Are we talking about drugs again? Yep, I have it. Seems like we're walking back through town proper, see some actual humans in the show, which is a little bit novel. Okay, so we're rolling up to the truck. There's a big old truck. Very cool. We go to a line, or maybe not. Okay, so we're not rolling up to the truck. We're waiting for the truck to pass as we go to this line, right? 2 children and 1 adult. You would imagine Chi and Yu, and then Grandpa. Very cool. And they seem to grab rations. And then they've got a little mischievous smile on their face as well. Hey, this house looks familiar. Very cool. It's time to eat. And then they start to eat. Okay, so the mischievous smile, I potentially thought that they were going to, like, steal more food or something. But no, they're just kind of excited that they get to eat, which is pretty cool. Is it good? Who asks this question? It's a speech bubble indicating up this direction, and then we look up this direction and see a figure up here. Very cool. So yeah, this is Grandpa. He asks, "Is it good?" Yeah. All right. Pretty simple old conversation, but sure. I'm done. I want to eat more. So, okay, she's done, and then you wants to eat more. Okay, some things never change. So you've finished. Okay, you're focusing on eating. You've finished eating, so you can go play with the books again. Again, this is very reflective of their characters. One's about food, one's about books. Immediately goes up to Grandpa, tries to get some more knowledge. What does this mean? That means ... and then the conversation probably ends, and we just kind of play out a little bit more of a montage-ish sequence. Okay, what can we see here? Is this you making the fish keychain? Yo, insane lore. Let's go. I'm thinking that's what this is, because you would zoom in here on what she's making there. It kind of looks like her sleeve. Yeah. So she's made the little fish thing. That's what I'm seeing here. And then kind of gets bored of that, and then goes to play with Chi's hair, and then Chi fucking hates it, and then gets a head pat from Grandpa and fucking loves it. Cool. Very easy, again, to get across what's going on. Cheeto. Yes? Go get Yuri. And you're looking out the window like something bad's fucking happening. Like something bad's happening. I see. Okay, this seemingly is the flashback that was promised, is very indicative of, the past and what I believe might have happened. I love this. The speech bubbles that have just like muffled conversation that, like, I can't understand, or she can't understand, right? Like, or doesn't hear fully. It's just kind of murmurings in the crowd. I think that's gotten across very well, very artfully, very, again, scribbly, which is the art style. Even it kind of matches the level of detail on the characters in the scene as well, which is all very shaded, and like you never see anybody's face other than Grandpa, and then even then you don't really even see his face. Either way, we're on the search for you out in the snow. We look down a scary kind of alleyway, I guess. Okay, and it's very cold. You see the like breathing out and the steam, the condensation. Either way, it seems that you has found Chi-chan. Or Chi-chan has found you, I should say. I was just kind of reading the subtitles there. Ooh, okay. And then these guys are looking a little bit scary, a little bit intimidating. Again, it looks like a lot of them are preparing for some kind of conflict. Very cool Girls Last Tour, very, very cool. But kind of look them in the eye and then run away. Again, this guy even seemingly moving faster and faster in the background as well. Again, I think something's going down, something where we need to get the kids out of there. Cool, so running back home, and then it's old gear. I adjusted the length to fit you. If there's anything else you want, take it with you. Do you remember how to drive? Grandpa? You're likely the only ones who could work your way through the abandoned pipe yard in winter. Once you've slipped through to the west, cross the slope and climb up to the tower beyond. Do not go down. Climb up. So this is why we're climbing up. Have you forgotten you? Okay, cool. And again, Grandpa's... Again, shit's going down. Grandpa's trying to prep the girls, and then we go off on our Girls Last Tour, right? This is the origins of the show. For the record, I think that, again, a lot of these are indicative of the you know what I mean? Like the shots in the anime, right? I think they did a good job in the anime of picking the right shots, even without dialogue, so I could almost infer what was happening already. I think, yeah, they did a good job there. Oh, we get a good look at Grandpa's face here. That's cool. Okay. What about you, Grandpa? If it's only you two, you will be able to survive for a long time on a small amount of food. Then they look up at him. Humans are forgetful creatures. We're supposed to have an acclimation or accumulation of knowledge to make up for that. Go, hurry. Are we bound to repeat history regardless? Yeah, okay, conflict is starting, right? Even though we're in this fucking post-apocalyptic setting, right? There may be little enclaves of people here and there, right? We're still in conflict, right? Like, again, he seems pretty... like learned. He's got like a bunch of fucking books and shit. He's probably read about these conflicts and gone, history is doomed to repeat itself. Humans are forgetful creatures. They're going to go into conflict again and again and again. We're supposed to have an accumulation of knowledge to help do this, but the unknown is scary, which is another theme earlier in the show. We are doomed to repeat the same thing, being scared of difference, right? Being scared of scarcity, being scared of all these different things instead of uniting, conflicting. Potentially that's human nature. And that's our last line. I think we get a big old wide here. Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, a big old wide as there's an explosion in the kind of smoke pipes we saw before. There is a conflict coming. It looks bad. We may be wiped out. You two girls, go on your way. We're going to see what else happens, right? Ah, cool. And this is how we're framing it. So it's a little dream that they had while they're sleeping in the elevator where that last AI died. Again, very interesting. Are we there yet? You wake up. And then seemingly we're just waking up and we're going to continue into the last strata. I would imagine we're on our last few pages of the volume. Is that it? The map the artificial intelligence person talked about? Person is interesting as well. So she really put it up for us. We've really come a long way, haven't we? I remembered. Grandpa's the one who told us to go up. Okay, so this is like like a shared dream that they had, maybe? I don't know. Because it seemed like a lot of it, she was the point of view character in that dream. So I thought it was Chi's dream. No, they both had the same dream, sure. Are you always remembering things from the past, Chi-chan? No, only sometimes. I forget so fast, I don't want to remember bad things. But up and forgetting everything would be lonely, right? Oh, that's pretty sad. Yeah, okay. I don't want to remember the bad things. And through this kind of 3-chapter chunk, it's been a lot about use forgetfulness, right? Well, I'm forgetful because I don't want to remember the bad things. But in that same way, that's lonely, because you forget the good things as well. You forget these memories that you made with people in the past, right? If you limit yourself to only the things that made you feel good, then it's going to get pretty focused on the one, other than the many, very quickly. Then you gets to thinking, hey, what is this feeling? The one you get when you're remembering way back when. It's kind of sad, and your chest hurts, but it's not a bad feeling. Yeah, that. Nostalgia, maybe? Nostalgia. Nostalgic, isn't it? Yep. Okay, nostalgia. There's many words for this feeling, I would say. But again, they're thinking back to the hometown and getting nostalgic about the experience, even the bad parts about it, right? Even the parts where they had to go away. But before that, they were just kind of playing with snowballs and just having a good time. And again, you can definitely tell that they were very young then, and they're very much older now, so they have been on the move for a while. Very, very, very long time. Quite a long time indeed. And yeah, I think that's the very end. I wish those girls happiness, says Grandpa, as he's got a fucking Glock 9 in his hand. Oh shit. Yeah, shit's going down. The other thing that's implied, I don't think that this guy is potentially blood related to these girls. Maybe? I do not know. Maybe he's just like a kind old man. And that his family died, and then there's 2 girls, and I need to adopt them, because that's how this society works, the small one we have here. We take care of each other. I really don't know, but I don't know. It can be implied either way, I think. It's open to interpretation there. Oh, this is cool too. Put these images up, I guess. Kind of like the one that's in the wide first, because it shows the journey a little bit. So there's Labyrinth, remember when we're stuck in all the pipes. Then Cooking, where we did the cooking. So this is post Ishii stuff, right, with the planes. And then we go cooking, and then we cook the stuff with the potatoes we found because of Ishii. Then we go to Memories, which is the one with the graves and the mementos in the graves and that kind of thing. Then we get up out of that strata, we go to Moonlight, where we do the drinking part. Then Spirals, where we go up the spiral staircase. Very, very cool. Little metaphor there. Technology? Is technology where we do the robot stuff? No, Life is where we do that. Water tank and Life. That's where we do that. What is technology? I do not know. And then we get onto the train, and then wavelengths, so that, and then capture. Capture? Okay. Where do we do the part about the destruction? Yeah, up here. Okay, cool. Cultures before that. Alright, cool. It's interesting following the journey plotted out like this. And then we go to the next page, which I can actually show, where we do past, connection, and companions, all in the submarine, kind of the TV anime ending, then waterway, injury, art, clothing, cigarettes, explosion, Oblivion, hometown, as we see us go up this elevator now. Very, very cool. And here's the afterword. I liked reading these when I was reading through the anime as well, or reading through the rest of the manga. I like dreaming of the past, meeting people I'll never meet again, my childhood self talking to my mother or father, and then when I wake up, I feel sad. Does that sadness stem from having lost these things, or is it because I remembered that I'd forgotten even the things I'd lost? Is it a happy or sad cry? Interesting. Or feel sad. I feel sad happy. You know what I mean. Humans long for things to stay the same, for eternity. But on the other hand, I think that the act of forgetting heals us. Okay, that's pretty deep. Shit. Anyway, onto volume 6 now. I'm going to do that shortly. Okay, here's the volume 6 volume cover. Quite a bit to talk about. Okay. So, they're in almost like a nothing zone. It almost looks like they're on the moon, right? Climbing up that high. But of course, there's still a bit of snow around. Probably open skies. Now they're close to the final strata. It says 6, it says final, right? This is, I'm guessing, the cover that was on it when it released, if that makes any sense. Or was it in a magazine? I've got no clue. Either way, this is probably indicative of, hey, this is the final stretch. Like, the audience will know that now. And I like the face on the girls. Smiling slightly, but content, right? Just kind of basking in it. Very, very cool cover. I like this quite a bit. All right, and let's say 2 more. Let's go Blizzard and Space. And then we'll leave 5 to go for the final run. That would make sense to me. Unless Space ends on a spot that really indicates that we're going into somewhere else, right? Okay, here we go. So, Girl's Last Tour is his chi within Yu's twisted mind. Pretty cool cover here. I mean, just kind of resting within her helmet, which is strange. Oh, and warmth, obviously, because this chapter is called Blizzard, right? So obviously very thick snow, even indicating the previous chapter from the very thick snow that was there in the hometown. Again, the condensation of their breath. Yu almost looks like she's fucking close to passing out. Chi's like eyes are a weird shape. It's the conditions are taking a toll on them, I think, even already. Yeah, cool. And again, scale. We love doing this. We love doing this almost the second page of every chapter, right? Give us a good indicator of where we are. Let's have a look. Big structure next to us. There's big pillars coming down from above, hanging down. There's cranes everywhere. It looks like another leap in technology even. It's very alien to me. What are these structures? What are these T's over here? They almost remind me of that one where everything was collapsing. Remember that? That was pretty cool. It's also icy. There's a lot of icicles everywhere as well, like moisture dripping down and creating those. So cool. Don't know what I'm meant to be looking at. Kind of toting along, driving, looking each way. Look up above us. Is something going to fall? Okay, this is what we're meant to get across. We're like looking around and we think it's alien, kind of one of my thoughts from before. This area, it feels a little like that other place, doesn't it? Where was that again? Where the snow was really strong? When we took the bath? No, the place where we got hurt. Oh, yeah, it does. It looks unfinished. So I'm happy I brought that up. It looks like the place that was like a little bit wibbly wobbly, where something fell on Chi and then you needed to drive. I remember that. Or, what do you call it? An unfinished feeling? Yeah, that's it. But you've got a point. That snowy day, huh? It's even colder than it was then. So remember that when they really needed that bath and I'm like, shit, the conditions are really fucking bad out here. It's colder than it was then. It's pretty fucking bad. Again, like less protection from the elements as you go higher and higher. It's almost like you're climbing the summit of a mountain. Just how high up are we? Brr. I know. I can cover up with a blanket. No fair. You can't keep it all to yourself. True. Can you drive and wear a blanket? I can't say I've like tried, but you probably could. Yeah. So use rugging up. You want to take turns driving then? And then yeah, no, I'd rather freeze than let that happen. Says Chi. Again, indicating back to that same chapter. No worries, I'll return the heat I borrowed later. I don't even know what that means. Me neither, really. So we're toting along, we call out for you, hey you, and then a sigh. She's sleeping. She's fallen asleep. Or worse, she could have like passed out from the cold. That's pretty bad as well, but I imagine she's just sleeping, so it's fine. The snow's deep too. This is about the farthest we can go in this. Okay, so do we need to make camp or something? Yeah, we need a place we can take shelter. But if we stray too far off the path, we'll probably end up stuck in a ditch. Time to improvise. I'll park here. I don't think the snow will pile up as much behind this. Okay, so like snow going this way, if you go to the edge of a building, then the snow's not going to fall on you as much. It makes sense that some level of shelter. You, wake up! Ow, time to get to work. What are we going to try to do? First, pile up the snow here. Like this? That was fast. She was fast. Again, like the strong one, right, is you. I like making these thingies. Snow shelters? Like an igloo? Yeah, okay. The helmet looked like an igloo. Now we see what that image at the very start was about. Gotcha. So yeah, this is probably, again, harkening back to the hometown chapter as well. They played around a lot in the snow. If they know about snowball fights, they probably know about igloos. That would make sense, right? If you keep piling up snow, you can get it as big as you want. I mean, kinda. I don't know. They seem kind of dangerous as well. Again, I'm in fucking Australia. We don't build igloos down here. I'm going to tell you that straight. When you dig inside, it gets deep. So, okay, funny. What are you digging? You digging with your helmet? Huh. So you've got a shovel. You're digging with your helmet on all fours. I want to make it bigger. No, this is just big enough. Let's get inside. They get inside the igloo. So they've made a little bit of shelter, kind of, on a whim, right? Just out of nothing. You don't need to close it completely. We would have no way to breathe then. Is she trying to close the igloo completely to trap them inside? What are you doing, you? No, don't do that. My other question is it okay to have heat in there? Is that going to make it all fucking come falling down? I do not know. Are they just drinking hot water? Okay, so they're boiling water and just drinking hot water? Craziness. I would never do that, not even if I'm like dying. I think we're somewhere around here right now. I'm pointing on the map. Gotcha. We have to follow the outer wall for a little while. That's why it's so cold. Is that the map that the artificial intelligence person gave us? Yeah. Though the lift only took us up to here, it looks like there's definitely a route that goes all the way to the top. The people of old. I wonder why they decided to build such a big city anyway. I don't know. People need a place to live, I guess. And, human avarice and greed and all that kind of stuff, right? Oh, isn't because building things is fun? On a base human level, probably. And of course, indicating like we just built an igloo and you thought it was kind of fun. They're not you. Interesting. Or maybe it was to protect themselves from something, like our snow shelter. Snow shelters do protect us from the cold, but it means something different, like war and stuff. War? I don't think that's it. Okay. Let's talk about this. I think they're talking about status. I think they're talking about protecting our level of class, right? Our class level. This is what I've indicated a lot, is that as we go higher, the buildings are better and better. There's less, like, industrial type stuff. The jobs are a little bit more highfalutin and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, I think that's what we're trying to get at, to protect us from being the same as everybody else, to show some level of status. Or maybe I'm completely wrong and we go in a different direction next thing. But yeah, buildings are built for multiple reasons. For shelter, to protect us from, I don't know, danger, whatever that danger is, the elements, war, and for status symbols, right? That's what I'm thinking. Either way, Chi's still very cold. You're still that cold? Maybe I caught a chill. Well, this is cute. She thinks, okay, and then she unzips her jacket. Okay, come here. For what? I'm going to return that warmth that I borrowed. So that's what you mean. And she's not too good for it too. They're going to have a little cuddle. Okay, great. Oh, isn't that just adorable? Look at them two. They're best buddies. Or siblings. Again, was never really confirmed. I'd imagine they're like unrelated. That would make sense based on their character designs. How is it? You warm? Your body. Why are you so well padded? Hey, yo, pause. That tickles. You only eat the same amount as I do. Well, I mean, it's genetic, right? Some people have different body shapes. That's how it works. I don't know. I wonder why that is. I bet because your brain doesn't use any calories at all. Isn't it that you use up too many on your brain, Chi, and that's why you're not as voluptuous? Pause. As I am. You sure has a high body temperature. So warm. And then they go to sleep. And then I think that's the end of the chapter. No, there's still a little bit after that. Okay, never mind. I don't know, cute. Sure. I like this. We poke the shovel out the top of the igloo so it's dark, and then we get a little bit of light. Poke it out, and then make a big hole. Kind of stop the Kettenclad from getting us buried. The engine itself is sluggish. It might be cold. It's giving me a tororo instead of a tototo. So it's a little bit sickly, the vehicle. And then, yeah, everything's buried in snow. If the past were buried in snow like this, and you couldn't see it, couldn't you get away with not thinking too hard and saving yourself all those calories like me? Even when things get buried, the snow melts eventually. That might be the top. Wonder what's up there. Interesting. Okay, so the snow like melts eventually, right? All is revealed in time, right? There is a change at some point. It doesn't stay hidden forever, whatever we're looking for. Isn't it hard to drive like that? Next time I'll return the warmth with the blanket. Okay, so she's trying to wear the blanket while driving. Okay. Yeah, I mean, cute chapter. I think the most interesting stuff is the stuff around shelter that I was talking about there before. And yeah, just, I mean, we need a chapter to probably reinforce the relationship between the two girls and how they're like besties. So I like that. It was very cute. Cool. This is probably the last chapter I'll do today. It's called Space. Chapter 42. And they're in a rocket ship. Yeah, it's called Space. Very cool. Space. I wonder if there's some element of humanity that fled planet Earth and tried to continue somewhere else. Wouldn't put it past them. If there's some place to build a rocket, it is the highest strata, right? Somebody did say there's a lot of stuff around the moon as well. Think about it. We're going like full near vibes. People on the moon? Are you kidding me? So we approached this big old structure. Again, there was a large wall separating us from the top. I think to get up to the top, I think we need to go up over that incline over there. I'm just inserting words where they don't belong, but you know, don't mind me. I'm curious what's on the other side of this tunnel, though. We can't keep making many pit stops, you know. But yeah, let's check it out a little bit. Maybe this is where we'll find our rocket. Since this world is full of unknowns, don't you want to go to as many places as possible? Sure, but we can't investigate everything in the world. The human life span is short, and the area we can cover is small too. It isn't like humans can fly through the air. Oh, what's that? Probably rocket. Again, there's no merit in the quest to know everything, I don't think, right? There needs to be a limit. There needs to be an end, right? Think about it. Yeah, I'd imagine this is a rocket. Interestingly enough, it almost looks like the weird kind of mushroom people things. Weird. It's big. It's leaning a little. And yeah, I'm guessing it's a rocket. Yep, rocket. You can tell from here. Look at all these thrusters. Very cool. Bunch of tubes and shit going into it, and they're all kind of iced over. Clearly it's been a long time since this thing's been used, and they're just kind of looking around. This is one of the prototypical ones you would see in the anime where it's just like 30 seconds of them just kind of looking around at things. There's a door over there, so Yu's like continuing to be curious while Chi's like, hey, come back a little bit, right? Don't go too far on your own, okay? Okay, and then like we find some kind of door. Oh, it opened. Very cool. Do you do something with the lock? I guess it doesn't really matter. Chi-chan, I think this is outer space. Outer space? It's projecting the positions of the planets. I see. The panel says Orbit Simulator AD. Okay. I'm guessing this panel right down in the corner. Okay, so maybe it isn't a real rocket. Maybe this is like a museum of rocket technology or something to that effect, right? I thought we were at a rocket launch site. But no, it seems like this is a bit more of an educational venture, right? Unless this is like a simulator or something. I do not know. Of course, Chi's the one that reads books. She would be the one to know what we're looking at. To be more precise, it's our solar system. In which case, the thing we saw outside must have been... Is this the sun? That's right. And this one here's Earth. The sun is that much bigger than Earth? Obviously. But the Earth we're standing on, it's so big. And the sun's a small thing in the sky. What do you mean? Means that the sun's a fucking long way away. Long way away. That's what it means, right? And while we're at it, this is the moon. Well, isn't the moon too small? Well, it's all relative on distance away from us, right? Like grade 1 science stuff. Very cool. Things that are farther away look smaller, right? Doesn't seem like she gets it. Yeah, I mean, Yu's never been the sharpest tool. But I wouldn't expect her to get it on her first time. The planets in the solar system are all revolving around the sun like this, and then their moons are revolving around the planets. Yeah, this is how I understand astronomy as well. Very cool. Then what's this line sticking out from Earth? Was that there before? No, it came out when I touched this. Oh, orbital paths? Some kind of mission to another planet or a moon or something? There are 3 lines that aren't circling around anything. One of them breaks off here, the second ends over here, and the third, how far does it go? Beyond our solar system, that's for sure. Yeah, 3 planned missions, I'm thinking, right? One up to here. Let's see if we can put a space station or something up here and just see what happens, right? Maybe we get pulled in by some other gravity. Maybe we live up there for a very long time. Maybe it's self-sufficient and all these kind of things, right? I do not know. The second ends over there. So it goes even a little bit further, a bit more towards the next planet, and then the third way out somewhere else, beyond what we can comprehend at this moment. And okay, so this is less an educational place and more a place where we're planning routes. And that's what we're looking at when we've got our model of the solar system. All the way to the next floor? I doubt it, but let's see. Okay, so are we still following this? Are we following this route even further? So yeah, it goes so far that it goes to the next floor from our little display we had there. Papers, ARC project suspended, Mars base communications cease, projections suspended. Okay, so maybe it never got, this last mission never happened? Or the Mars mission never happened? I do not know. You can see the leaning thingy really well from here. That's probably a rocket to get to where we need to go. Yeah, the leaning thingy. A rocket? A machine for going to outer space. The equipment in here is probably for launching it. Hey, it looks like we can get to it from over there. Huh? You want to cross that bridge? I mean, if it's meant to go into space, there might be a load of supplies inside, like food. It's kind of swaying. Is it safe? Then a bit of cling-clang as they're climbing up the stairs. But you know, I wonder what made them decide to go to outer space. Because this planet's fucked. That's why. It's not hard to see. I understand their purpose there. There's nothing out there, right? There are other planets, but the planets are incredibly far apart. Most of it is empty space. Well, even you don't go exploring solely to find food, right? There's something in the nature of exploration itself. I guess, for sure. A little bit of a grunt as we climb into the ship itself. How does it look? It's pretty dark. Whoop! And we jump into it. Again, it's pretty precarious. Maybe something's going to fall here. Yeah, it seems like thing is going to fall. Okay, so we hear like a thing start to snap. Bit of a shake. Stuff starts to fall. Food. No, I'd focus on what's happening around you. Oh, this thing looks a little food-like. And then, yeah, Chi sees it all start to fall apart. You, get out of there quick! And then, yeah, we got to make our great escape as the rocket's falling on this part of the track. I like the big bend in it, too. That's pretty rad. Chi-chan! Oh, shit, are they in trouble? Potentially. Okay, I'm trying to pass this. Okay, so they're cuddled together here, just off the walkway that's fallen all the way to the ground. You being the good, big, protecting type and putting her entire body in front of Chi, which is just plus points. Good shit. The rocket has kind of careened into the wall, so I'm imagining like it's a very close shave to where they're sitting, you would think. Or they're fucking dead, I don't know. Yeah, it looks like a close shave, I see. So yeah, it kind of fell onto them, but now they can kind of climb into it as a result. We almost died again. It's not my fault, right? Maybe just half your fault. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a very safe thing to begin with, and the idea that there would be food stored in there is... no. That wouldn't happen. Why would they store something with food if it was cancelled? Doesn't make any sense. Wait, did we find coffee? Oh shit, maybe there was food in there. Oh, found it. The food-like thing I spotted before. Should we not have come out here? I don't know, I wanted to see the rockets up close too. Okay, so maybe a bit of disapproving, but then admitting to herself, yeah, I did kind of want to see the rocket as well. Space, huh? Maybe they're both the same thing. Curiosity, trying to go to outer space, and us investigating the rocket as well. Just in the bleak hope that there might be food there? I mean, yeah, that kind of matches with what I was saying before. Like, there might be something there. Maybe have a look. It's a shot. We should take a shot at this, right? There could be something cool out there. It's the curiosity that gets you. Yeah, okay, I read into that a lot. I like that. I like that quite a bit. Wanting to know more when we see unknown things or wanting to go really far away, maybe it's human instinct. Maybe. Maybe it links us back to our first humans, the first humans that looked up at the night sky and saw things that they wanted to know about, right? I'm even indicating this to like, oh yeah, we saw the rocket from where we were standing and then saw it far away and wanted to go investigate. Like, that's a very human understanding. Even in something like a video game, right? You see a cave off in the distance, you want to go have a look, right? At least I do. But again, video games are designed where you're trained to think that there's something there because it exists, which is another weird philosophical thing. Whatever it is, the people of old were amazing, weren't they? They could even get to outer space if they wanted to. There must have been an era like that too. An age where you could use your time not solely for war and food, but on giving shape to your curiosity. Remember the art, remember the art, remember the art. Yeah, there was a time. It's called like right now, kind of. I mean, a lot of people are still trying to get over the war and food thing. But for a lot of us, we're up to, that. Maybe even beyond what we're at now. Maybe a little bit more of a utopia that could exist at some point in the future. Maybe. I wouldn't bet on it, but maybe. I bet you would have had tons of fun if you'd been born back then, Chi-chan. I was thinking the same thing. She seems like the creative type, the inquisitive. She would have loved an era like that where she could expand her talents. You do love investigating things. Who can say? Oh look, the numbers. It says number 4. I guess the ice broke off when it fell. I can read numbers too. What about them? Well, what I think it indicates is that Mission 1, Mission 2, Mission 3, this was meant for Mission 4, whatever Mission 4 was, but there's already 3 rockets up there. That's what I think it's trying to say. If this means this was the 4th rocket, the map downstairs, the 1st and 2nd were cut off part way, but the 3rd kept going really far. Think it's still flying? I wonder how far it is away now. Interesting. I wonder if they're manned missions. I wonder if they're not. The X's here seem to indicate, oh, we got this far and then it died. We got this far and then it died. It didn't seem like it was a location. And then we're just testing the limits to see how far we can go. Testing our curiosity, testing humanity's ability to continue beyond our means at this moment. Yeah, and that's probably what the chapter's about, seeing as that's the last part there. Let's fix it and go to outer space. Not possible. I don't think that's a good idea either. I don't think Earth would cope very well in outer space. I don't think it's a place where you really belongs. And yeah, if we go one page further, there's something about science or fish or something, and that's where we'll continue next time at page 44. We'll go from 44 all the way to 150, the end of this part of the story. The end of the story itself, I should say, actually. So yeah, today I learned like a ton. I really like the stuff with the AI and the flashback stuff as well, and how it links into the theming early in the volume. I think you could consume that volume 5 all as one and get a lot out of it. I really like that a lot. Similarly, I think the 2 concepts we've tackled very early on here about shelter, warmth, and then the space stuff and curiosity and wanting to go beyond and exploration and that kind of thing, I think they're pretty interesting. And I wonder how they'll link into whatever we do next, whatever our ending is, right? Whatever's at the top of this structure. You could almost see this from a writing perspective, like kind of delaying the inevitable. When we get to the top, the story is close to the ending, right? That's how this is working. So we're doing a little detour where we go to space, or not go to space, where we learn about space. And we need to frame it as a detour, because if we're framing it in the process of climbing up, it'll get a little bit tedious, I think. But yeah, I fully believe the best stuff this time through was the chapter Oblivion. I think that was the best one. I think I had the most to say about it. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of similarities to fucking Nier, a lot. So play Nier Automata if you like this, because you'll get a lot out of it, I think. Also, that game it's a fucking joy to play, so just go play it. Again, something about these post-apocalyptic settings set way after the world has ended. Like, way after, right? This isn't a recent post-apocalypse. This is, like, way after, you know? And yeah, these 2 have been sent on a kind of journey to go and learn about, like, the world. Very cool. Like, and again, away from war, humanity's mistakes are bound to repeat. I liked that part a lot too in that last chapter, Hometown, of Volume 5. But yeah, we'll give this one more week. We'll do this next week, hopefully on time. Hopefully. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed this here today. Just chill stuff before I skedaddle. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord. Join Discord, love Discord. And yeah, I'll catch you next week for the very last Girls Last Tour video, finishing up the end of Volume 6, the end of the manga. So yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and peace and stuff, of course.